All right. So, sorry this last part is coming out right before the test. Um, let's just get right into it. Okay. So, here, well, actually, I need to go back. Um, I made a mistake on 26 before 27, which I also made a mistake on. I fixed that one. But here, I forgot to do a couple things in the part one video. The first one is I think I forgot to times by the negative here, the negative 13. And then also when I distributed, I didn't do 10 times 2i or 10i times 2i. I just did and you get 20i squared. Um, I did. I just forgot times it by the 2. I did the I squared part, but I didn't do the. Anyways, my answer in the first video was a negative 10 here. This should be negative 20. Okay, so let's go back to 40, where we left off, or 41. All right, so I can calculate slope by doing the y, let's see, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So x1, y1, x2, y2. And so that gives me 9 minus 4 over negative 2 minus 3. It's going to give me 5 over negative 5. So m equals negative 1. And now I have enough information. I don't have b, so I just still need to solve for b, but I've got 2 points. I've got 2 y's and 2 x's, and I know my slope or my m is negative 1. So just choose one of your points. I'm going to choose the first one. So I've got my y value is 4. That's going to equal my m value is negative 1, and my x value is 3. And I'm going to add b. Sorry about all the color changing here. I got 4 equals negative 3 plus b. I'm going to add 3, add 3. So that'll give me b equals 7, or positive 7. So slope-intercept form, I got y equals m, which is negative 1. So negative x, and then plus 7 will give me my slope-intercept form. And if you would have plugged in the negative 1 instead of into the with the first 2 points, if you did it with the second point, either way it would work. Okay. So find the equation for slope when I know. So this is m equals 4. This is my x. This is my y. I don't know my b yet. So I'm going to go 3 equals 4 times my x, which is 5, plus b. 3 equals 20 plus b minus 20 minus 20. So negative 17 equals my b value. So my final, I got y equals 4x, because 4 was already given as my slope, minus 17 is going to be my y-intercept. Okay. As we're looking at this is a cell phone company that's going to charge per minute. I know this is an outdated type question, but you see these a lot on math problems because everything kind of unlimited minutes now. But it's 0.84 per minute that you talk. So that's something that you're timesing your minutes. And this one's also kind of hard because m represents the number of minutes. When m is in our normal function, this is our slope, okay? And m is kind of representing our x value or input, how much is changing. And then the 71, this is our y-intercept. So I'm going to have something like cost, my total cost, or really, I mean, this is kind of similar to my y, equals my slope, which is 0.84. And instead of x, we've got our minutes. I know that's m in our slope and our m in this function are not the same. Maybe I'll do capital M. And then we're adding 71. So that's our second choice right here. All right, let's go on to our next one. So it says find the equation for the line shown. There's not much in the equation. There's no slope here. This is a zero slope. And so I just have y is equal to a constant negative 4. And the constant is something that doesn't change. And there's, because I'm not timesing it by an x, there's no x value. So I get y equals -4 because it's always at -4. No matter what point, that second term is always going to be -4. Okay. All right. This next one is actually something really similar. So it says find the y. This is where x is always equal to -6. That's nothing is changing. As we're looking at these two, one of them has a slope and one of them doesn't. And I'll talk about that on the question that where it pops up. And so this one, if we were to graph this line, okay, I've got -8, -1, -8, -1 would be somewhere like right here. And then -8, -7 will be somewhere right here. Right, these aren't exact, but what's happening is I have a perfectly straight line. So this is really similar to the last one where x is going to be equal to -8 because it doesn't change. Okay, 47. So this is y equals -11 halves. And you can put that into your calculator. -11 halves, -5.5. So we're just going down to -5.5, making a line straight across. And there's my line there. Okay, so when we need to find our intercept, our y-intercept, our value for x is always 0. And the opposite is true at our x-intercept, our y value is 0. So what we're going to do is we're just going to solve with the information that we have. And just plug each one in separately. Okay, so on this one, on the first one, let me do it in green, and I'm going to do it over here. But so I know that y equals 0. And I got -x divided by 2 minus 1. So I'm going to add 1. So 1 equals -x divided by 2. So I need this to be a positive x, so I'm going to times this by -2. And I'm going to times this side by -2. So -2 equals x. Those make each other go away, and these negatives make each other be positive. Whoop. So it's -2. And then on this next one, I'm going instead of, I don't know what y equals, but I do know what x equals. -0 divided by 2 minus 1. Well, 0 divided by anything is just 0, so y equals -1. And that puts that one there. Okay. All right, choose the most convenient method to graph x equals 6. So this is one where there's no change, and so there's no y. Well, there's a lot of y values, but so if I were to just graph this graph is going to be over here somewhere. And so when we don't have both variables, there's not going to be any slope to it. It's either going to be vertical or it's going to be horizontal. And because it's x equals 6, I know it's going to be a vertical line. So recognize the equation of a vertical line passing through the x-axis at 6 is going to be our first option there. Okay, so here's kind of the fun one. Once again, I'm going to kind of draw a fake graph over here to help explain this. So this is over here at x equals 11, equals -11, excuse me. And so what is the slope? And when we talk about slope, we talk about rise over run, right? How much does it go up and down versus how much does it go left to right? Well, this goes up forever, right? So our slope, as far as rising, it's kind of infinite. It could be any number you want. Or we could say all real numbers, right? Is that how you do that one? All reals. Okay, it could go up as many as you want, it could go down as many as you want, but the left to right movement is 0. And in math, whenever we divide by 0, that causes a domain error, or it's undefined. So this one right here is going to be undefined because our denominator, or our change in x, is left and right. Where if I said, well, what about y equals, I don't know, 5. You know, this is the right answer. So this is just kind of going off on a little tangent here. Okay, well, y equals 5 is going to be somewhere up here where my rise over run, well, it doesn't go up or down any. And left and right, well, it's, once again, it's all real numbers. I can go left as far as I want, or I can go right as far as I want. This equals 0, right? So this has a slope of 0. Slope of 0. Where a vertical line is a no slope. It's an undefined slope. But, okay, well, hopefully you get this. We'll go over a few of these before we start the test tomorrow. We've got the whole test and flex time to kind of work on stuff, but and get the test done. Anyways, let's see you tomorrow.